Today we're going to talk about whether something is a function or is not a function. And so I have kind of a page that I use in the classroom that kind of goes over examples of those. So a function is when things map out 1 to 1. There is 1x for every 1y. And when you map out not a function, things have only one x can have multiple answers in the y category. And an example of that can be when we are mapping them out, or it can be in the table. For instance, you can have a different x and the same y, like I have in this first example, or I can have different pairs all the way across. Nothing is an overlap. Those are considered a function. However, if the repeated number is in the x category, then it is not a function. Or even if there's just one repeated x, that is not considered a function. It's probably the easiest to tell on what I would say is called the vertical line test. So if you were to take a straight line and you were to go across the graph, if it only crosses in one location, that is considered a function. And if it crosses in multiple, so if I leave my pencil here, you can see that it's going to cross in 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. And so therefore that is not a function. And I'm going to show a few more graphs like that down here. Again, this is an absolute value equation, but it is still a function because as you do the vertical line test across, you'll notice that it is only one touch. Same way down here. It doesn't have to be a solid line. It can be a partial line. And again, it is only one place has it crossed. But when I move across to the not a function category, you can see how it crosses in more than one location. And again, more than one location. And so we're just going to give some examples here, and then we're going to work a few problems out. First ones that we're going to talk about are on our practice page are the ones that I would do the vertical line test on. So if I were to take a vertical line and I were to draw a line right here, can you see how it touches 2? So this one is not a function. But if I draw lines this way, this one is clearly a function because it only touches in one place. Again, as soon as I can draw a line through the center of the graph, whatever they have graphed, and it touches in 2 locations, this is considered not a function. So you can honestly see it's really quick to go, oh, look, there's 2. So this one is not a function. You have to check each individual line to see, and with the ones that they have graphed, this one is a function. And then we have another one down here that is a function. Because you can clearly see that nowhere that I draw the line is it going to cross in more than one place. So those are examples of how to do it with a graph. Now let me switch the page. So now let's try some ordered pairs. Whether that be in ordered pair format or whether that be in a table format, what we're doing is we're looking for repeats. So the easiest way is to probably take your highlighter. And remember we talked about the fact that I'm only worried about the x's. The x's are the only ones that it's a problem. So if I go down here and I look for, are there any repeated x's? This one does not have any. This one does not have any. -3, -5, 0, 1, 2 does not have any. Have a repeat. And so there are some that do have a repeat. So as I come down here and I look a little bit farther, I see 2 4s right here in the X column. And over here, again, I don't see any repeats. So I have quite a few where we have a function right here. But if you look at the mapping, it's probably the easiest to tell. Again, this is not a problem. This is still good. But when I have 2 lines here coming away from the -1, that one is not a function. So let me go ahead and write that so that no one is unclear. This one is not a function, and this one is not a function. And the reason, again, is because I have duplicate x's, And again, I have a duplicate x, because if I wrote those as ordered pairs, that would be -1, and -1, 7. And so those would be repeats. It's not any different doing them from a long list of ordered pairs, but again, you have to go through them one at a time. I have a 5, I have a 3, I have a 2, I have a 0, I have a -1. Those are all good. I don't see any repeats here, but when I look at the next one, -2, 0, 2, 3, 2. This and this have a repeat, so this one is not a function, where this one is a function. So that's what you're looking for when you're telling it from a list of ordered pairs, a table, or if they've been nice enough to draw the map out for you. So let's end right here. As a recap, if it is a function on the vertical line test, it can only touch in one place, not in multiple places. And when you are matching up ordered pairs, none of the x's can be repeated. And so our examples here show no repeats. We do not care about the repeats in the y. This is still good. But we cannot have any repeated x's. So whether that's a whole bunch of them or just one pair that repeats, anytime you have a repeat, it is going to be not a function. All right, great job. Thanks.